You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the January 3rd meeting of the Michigan City Tree Board. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Michigan City Tree Board for Wednesday, January 3rd. Could I have a roll call, please?
Dennis Britton.
Here.
Betsy Elsesser. Here. Laura Henderson. I'm here. James Millowitz.
Here.
Mary Nell Murphy.
Here.
Tim Werner.
Present.
I guess we have a quorum.
We do have a quorum. Thank you very much. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes of our last meeting of December 6th?
Yeah, there's one little problem. Have not heard back yet from Drew Grant. I assume that's supposed to be Drew Hart.
Correct.
Which item?
Under committee reports.
From Drew Hart.
Oh, we got the grant from Drew Hart.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay.
All right. Any other changes to the minutes? Any other changes?
Nope.
Any other changes? Okay, hearing none. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Let's hear, just ayes or nays. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The minutes are approved. Thank you. All right, communications.
Secretary's report.
I'm sorry. I here are the minutes, but here what was last month's agenda. I put down a couple of things. One, I know we talked about having a committee or subcommittee with Betsy and Jim, and that was not recorded in the minutes. I don't know if it needs to be.
It should be, yeah. Just so there's a record when the
That was for the tree
on the
ordinance.
building.
Yeah, because I'm looking at information on the tree ordinance. I think it would be good to note that we created a subcommittee, or is it a committee, I don't know, with Betsy and Jim to look at the tree ordinance.
Okay, do I have a motion to amend the minutes again for this edition?
I so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any other thing else?
I'm just going to talk about terms expiring, but I think that's all.
That's, yeah. Okay, all those in favor of the second amendment to the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
And who seconded that? I just want to. Dennis, great. Just want to make sure, because I interrupted that, so thank you. Sorry about that.
Now, let's move back to communications.
We skipped over Secretary Treasurer's report.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Secretary Treasurer's report, I'm trying to rush us all on.
Yes. Okay, so I assume you saw what was sent out. And again, we have that weird thing at the bottom which makes it look like we owe $100,000 some dollars. That is not true.
No.
So,
Well, how can we dispute that?
well, I didn't dispute it. I just went to controller's office and asked them to explain it.
Great. Thank you.
And this is
Thank you.
the revised version, and they are going to train Gary and how to print it out right.
Okay, this is much easier to read than what we had.
Now,
before.
this
Yeah,
is
it is.
actually for the whole year.
Yeah.
It's much easier to read. Plus, if you look at the second page, we still have over $1,000, which is much better than
Yes.
owing
With the last, yeah.
over $100,000.
Yes, Yeah, it makes a lot more sense.
Yes, indeed.
Excellent.
What's the difference between, what's the unexpended balance? Isn't that what we have?
Where-
The last
On the second
column,
page.
the last column is called unexpended balance. There's beginning balance, revenues, expenses, and
Oh, I
unexpended.
think you're right. I think that's what we have.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
so it's,
that- Last line would be the grand total.
So it's still-
Yep.
That's the cash at hand.
That's what we have, but still better.
So let's go buy some more trees.
Well, we will.
Yes.
All right, any other questions on the budget? Any questions on the budget?
So are we gonna vote to accept the one that we just received, correct?
That would
The
be
end of year one.
And also the,
The prior one, the 100,000 that we don't understand?
no, not that part,
Fine.
but where is it? The general fund part. So
This is December.
what I've been giving you is the general fund part, which is what the city spends, and on the back of it is the tree fund donation fund, which is the one that was screwed up. So what I just handed out to you is the kind of a revision of the tree fund donation fund, tree board donation fund, but it is totally separate from the general fund. So what we're voting for is to approve the general fund thing and the new thing, I think.
Okay, so what's our total available for each one of these?
Well, it's,
So we know the tree board fund is $632.19, correct?
Right. Yes.
So that's our tree board fund available right now, unexpended balance. The other budget sheet you have is
I
overall
honestly,
city budget.
yeah, it's overall city budget, so I really don't understand it. This might, I don't know. I was more concerned about what they were doing with our personal fund.
Correct.
So I think
This
that's all we
is
need to
above my
approve,
grade.
right? That's, I think we need to approve that, just more for information.
Yeah.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve our budget performance report for the last month of the year? Actually, it's the end of year balance, isn't it?
End of year, yes.
I so move.
Do I have a
Second.
Second. Betsy beat you.
Gotta get my name.
Person.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None, the motion carries, the budget's approved. Thank you very much.
And thank you for taking that extra step. of
Yes.
Yes.
Going to sort that out.
All right. Anything else with the treasurer's claims and reports? Any other claims? None? Hearing none? Let's move to communications.
Now we got a expected resignation letter from Dahlia, which includes advice from a tree, and I think you all saw this.
Yes, can you read it?
Sure,
for the
advice from
public?
a tree. Stand tall and proud. Go out on a limb. Remember your roots. Drink plenty of water. Be content with your natural beauty. Enjoy the view.
And Jim suggested, and I will post that on our Facebook page, which is called Michigan City Tree Board.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Excellent. Let's see.
Read Dahlia's whole letter, his resignation letter.
As most of you know, I have recently moved to Colorado, and as a result, will no longer be able to serve on the Michigan City Tree Board. Please consider this email as my official resignation from the tree board effective December 31st, 2023. It was a pleasure serving on such a professional, thoughtful, and dynamic board. The increase in public engagement and participation is just beginning. I look forward to your continued efforts to grow and maintain the urban tree canopy, as well as inform the residents of the importance of planting and caring for native trees. I am looking forward to updates. I wish you the best of luck and continued success. Dahlia Sears.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Would everyone be okay if I posted something, not her whole letter, but something about her?
Sure.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
As long as she's okay with it.
Well, can you, I mean, we haven't had anyone contact us to fill her seat, have we?
It's only been 3 days.
Yeah.
I know, but this
It's
has been
been
a
very
while.
busy 3 days for the administration. So.
Yes. Okay, well, can can we hint that we're looking for another tree board member on the Facebook page?
And you can hint to the audience out there too.
Yes,
There are openings on the tree board, so if anyone's interested, let Mayor Angie's office know.
And I think you have to come to the clerk's office and fill out an application
right.
and give it to the mayor's office.
At City Hall.
Yes.
You know.
It's also available online on the city's website.
Okay.
Good to know. Thank you.
Now, we received something from the Arbor Day Foundation, tree ordinance feedback. Well, I went to print out a whole bunch of copies of this for everybody and found out that it was closed. So we may be too late to answer this. But I thought it was kind of interesting anyway, and it's kind of a good tool, so I'm just gonna read it to you.
Yeah, good.
If anybody wants it, I think you and I were the only ones who got this, so we can forward it to anybody who wants.
How about our subcommittee?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The Arbor Day Foundation is requesting feedback from communities in Indiana on tree ordinances. They are attempting to come up with a new definition or standard for ordinances that are more inclusive for communities. The below questions are exactly what they are requesting feedback on. Number 1, name of community. Number 2, what are the clauses in tree ordinances that grow and protect our canopies? Number 3, in regard to tree ordinances, what are the specific things that are important? Number 4, how do you feel your community's tree ordinance could be improved so that it grows and protects your community canopy? Number 5, any additional comments you have regarding tree ordinances that you feel like would be important for the Arbor Day Foundation or the Community and Urban Forestry Department to know about? So we will forward this to the subcommittee.
Well, actually, this is a query I don't think we need to answer right now because we're struggling with the same thing. And I come to understand that we don't have an ordinance all in one place.
I thought I had sent you something, and I looked for it today. I found it in my drafts folder.
Oh,
So I
okay.
will send it to you.
All right,
and
send it to
Jim.
us again.
Yeah,
But personally, I'm a little more focused on the
job description.
job description, and I'm thinking of getting to the ordinance sometime this spring.
Okay.
Is that okay to Jim?
Okay, another
Sounds
thing
completely understandable.
Dahlia sent us was a link to Loveland, Colorado's urban forestry page. And I thought this was interesting. These little polka dots are trees in Loveland.
In the public areas.
Yeah, look like certainly
Public
public street trees.
And
Park.
they are public trees, park trees, what else? Are they? Stumps, proposed removals, dead park tree, a live street tree, proposed planting, emerald ash borer trap detection tree, and others. Well, there's a whole bunch of things like that. So they're color coded, and here's the code, and so on. So, and you can also expand this, it goes out quite a ways. So
Does it go drill down all the way to the address of some of these trees?
some of them, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping we get as much detail or more.
That's what we'll be
In our
looking for.
inventory.
Inventory.
On the inventory.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the dots do not have that information, but I think they should. And I hope that ours
Well,
at
it'd
some point will.
Yes.
be interesting to know what they spent to get that kind of,
Yeah.
the
Detail.
result looks only moderately detailed.
But let me give you the website so you can look at this yourself. And that's another thing I will also forward.
Okay.
But when she hands me that back, I can read you the website.
This can't be the whole city.
It
No,
isn't,
that's just a
It
small
isn't.
part, just a small
Oh,
part of
okay.
it.
so here's the website, www.lovg.org/services/parks-recreation/urban-forestry.
Aren't you glad you asked?
I'll also send this out in case anybody wants it.
Thank you.
Yes.
It'll be easy.
You have
Then
to,
you scroll down, you hit City of Loveland Tree Inventory, hit the expand button, and you click on here, and you get to this.
well, now,
That was very nice of Dahlia to share that.
Yeah.
didn't Phil Graff say that he did the inventory in LaPorte?
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting to see that.
And
Yes.
if it's available to the public.
It should be available, and
Well, if he wants the job, he better make it available to us. so
I
we
now
can
know-
see.
Absolutely.
one of the city council members in LaPorte who works for me, so, and she happens to be on the sustainability committee as of last night, so, which is their tree board.
What's her name?
Lauren Huffman, so I will talk to Lauren tomorrow and see if she can get information on what their tree inventory was like. It'll take her a while to catch up, she catch her breath
And I
too.
think I heard you someplace called Merit Stem does tree inventories.
I'm guessing this
Maybe.
tree board started before the Michigan City Sustainability Board started. Because it does make sense to put them in
Same
together.
place, right?
Well, I
LaPorte
don't think
used to
they
have a
have a
tree
tree board.
Yeah, LaPorte used to have a tree board and it became the sustainability
Oh,
committee.
okay.
That's according to Lauren today, when I talked to her, after her meeting last night, her first city council meeting, so. All
I think that's
right,
correct.
I have a communication from our HR director at the city, Tatanisha George, yesterday, late in the afternoon, evening almost. It's regarding our candidate that we moved forward for our arborist position for the city, Michael Wolf. And she says, "Good afternoon all. I spoke with Michael Wolf today," so that would have been yesterday. "Mr. Wolf will not be able to start until Monday, January 22nd, 2024. He would like to give his current employer 2 weeks' notice. He will be in on Friday, 1/5/24 to do his new hire paperwork. So if anybody wants to be at City Hall to run into him, he'll be in on Friday and at the 5th to say, 'Hey, Michael, welcome
At what
aboard.'
time?
But he will be starting on Monday, January 22nd.
Well, that's great. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, that's okay with me.
Any other communications? Any other communications? Hearing none, let's move on to elections of officers. As most people now are aware, that the city of Michigan City has selected a new engineer for city engineer, and that position is going to be filled by me starting next month. So I'll be, actually, Angie just sent me an email, so it might be the 29th of January when I start. But I will no longer be comfortable being the president of the tree board. I'll just be a member if she still wants me to be a member. But we're going to need a new president for the tree board, as I will be stepping down as any role of officer in the tree board, but I will certainly still be here working my tail off like all the rest of you. So,
Well, congratulations on your new
Yes.
role. I'm
Yes.
very happy for the city. I'm very sad to see us losing you as the president.
well, you're not losing me. I'm still here, but
Yes.
certainly I'll be busy with many, many, many other things in the
Yes.
city than just the tree board.
Right.
So is there a nomination for president?
I would like to make a nomination. I would nominate Mary Nell.
I decline.
That was quick.
Okay,
As I had mentioned in other meetings, that I'm not going to take precedent.
I'll withdraw the nomination.
is there another nomination?
I would like to nominate Laura.
I would like to decline.
I would like to nominate Betsy.
Well, I don't think it would be, I'd be the most appropriate choice since I'm only here part-time.
We may not be ready to have a replacement tonight.
How about you, Dennis?
I am nowhere near, I haven't even been on the board for a year yet.
And I've barely been a year.
Yeah, I think we came on at the same time,
Mhm.
so.
I think I beat you by maybe a month.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
although I
you look,
might not
you
have
look
been
like you
official
might be
that
a
first
month
meeting I
ahead
came.
of me.
Well, Jim, what do you say?
I have the same issue that you have,
Yes.
Betsy, which is, not being a full-time resident of the city, I feel it would be more appropriate that the president be somebody who is a full-time resident.
Yes.
And the board is not fully staffed at this point.
I mean, it's not essential, of course, and there is no technical requirement for that. It's just a general feeling.
How about interim president?
If there are no nominations, that falls to the vice president. Whether she likes
Yeah, let's
it
do
or
that.
not.
Yeah, we'll see how long she stays on.
If she renews.
Well, can you tell us a few of the things that maybe that we're not aware of that the president has to do?
Everything. But it'll be much less once our arborist starts.
Right.
So I basically see the president, now that we will have an arborist start this month, coordinating with the arborist to get the things done that I've been doing for the last 2.5 years. All the community tree, right, all the, just everything that's going on to keep us moving, to get the $1 million grant to get the trees down in.
And communications with the mayor's office, and
Right.
kind of coordination with the department heads where necessary, and kind of
So,
a leadership role.
Yeah,
in all of our
so pretty much all of that goes to just working with our city arborists when they start.
But in light of that, he is gonna be in orientation, and also I would assume, I don't know if they use the term probation, so he's gonna be very early on to expect him to,
Right.
you know, I wouldn't,
No, we wouldn't have the arborist in charge of the tree board because,
no, but what
yeah.
Tim was delineating in
right.
regard to what the interface would be when he's still at the point of learning.
Could we have our current
file
officers
for him right
be
Yeah.
co-chairs? Instead of president, co-chairs?
Yeah, I'm on 2 other boards and I volunteer Mondays and
Yeah.
I deliver Meals
Yeah.
on Wheels.
True.
So I've thought about this and I have communicated to Tim before I had any inkling that this would happen.
That's why I didn't tell you.
I
I'm
really
gonna get there
really
tonight.
didn't want it to be out until tonight when I told them,
Uh-huh.
but
So if we don't do something tonight, then at next meeting, you will no longer be serving as president.
yes, I am officially resigning as president of the tree board
And
tonight.
And our vice president, which is Mary, will
I'll run the meeting,
assume that role for running
to run the
the meeting.
meeting, yes.
Run the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Assuming I am re-upped on the board, I'm currently not a member.
Right, or she expired in December.
Okay,
All
She
I
didn't returned it.
I see.
You don't look expired.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, I wasn't going to, I don't think I made any motions, I'm not gonna vote
Yeah,
tonight.
you don't know if you're actually an active
Right.
member of the board.
I
so-
withdraw any votes I made.
Wait a minute.
So maybe we should, the best thing to do is to table this nomination
We have
process.
no choice, yeah.
For the moment,
Yeah.
with the understanding that Mary, as vice president, will be presiding at the next meeting.
And,
Is that fair?
yeah, so
Do we
the
need to
other,
renominate the secretary?
I think so,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, in that case, I would nominate Laura to serve again as secretary, because she has done a tremendous
Yes,
job in that role. And those were all the bodies.
Saved us.
Will you accept the nomination again?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I would.
Is there another nomination for secretary?
what were you going to say?
I am interested in maybe we need to have a treasurer. Because wrangling with his stuff is not my cup of tea. I don't understand these financial reports very well. And I would love to have a treasurer who did.
I'm up for having a treasurer with our board as well. This is their nomination for treasurer.
Dennis is very good with figures.
We table
Not
that.
those kind of figures, and I have,
I think it's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
Well, although I'm not saying that.
All right, well, with all of the up in the airs and not knowing who's on the board, who isn't anymore, and all that, let's table this, but I will say as of right now, I will act as president through the month of January for things that come up,
Oh, that's excellent.
and then come, when I start as the city engineer, that'll be the end of my action as president of the
Yeah.
tree board. I will just be a member if Angie still wants me to be that.
Okay, so let me kind of recap. So we've just lost 3 members. We're losing you, we lost Dahlia
Dahlia.
and Angie.
Well,
We're not losing
I'm still on the board.
You're on the board in what function?
As just a board member like Dennis and like
Okay, I mean pending the
pending what
mayor's.
the mayor wants to do.
Okay, but currently we're down 3, so
Yeah.
I'm glad to see you're gonna take one of them, and one will be, well, maybe that's that position of the city representative here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we still have 2 other members then. Okay, so maybe someone new coming in would take a treasurer or presidential role.
Yeah, especially if they don't back in line fast enough. Oh, sorry, you're president. Sorry. Okay.
Well,
so-
I think we should actively try to recruit at least one more
Yeah.
member.
Absolutely.
You know, we've been criticized for being a little too old as a group
We have?
by some of our members of the public who made appearances here.
Okay, don't want to go
especially when we're
ahead.
So,
having practices.
But I think it would be great to have, to let it be known to the public that we would welcome young, active people.
Along those lines, in doing the search, it might behoove us to also mention we are looking for someone to fill in also the new role of treasurer,
Yes.
so that helps fine tune
No.
people that can say, I can do that, plus.
Treasurers are hard to find.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, let's not
They're
scare them
often
off
hard.
right
Well,
away.
and I think part of the
I say
role,
let's get someone in
part of
and
the
then.
role of
Yeah.
treasurer
I
would
do,
be
I will.
working on our
Let's-
reports.
Yeah,
Right. That,
What reports?
We will have to have reports to, well, Drew said he would help us with that.
right.
He said, he assured me that they weren't hard to do.
No, I
Sit
was-
down at a computer.
I was hoping very much that Michael would have been able to start before our meeting with Drew. but,
Oh,
like,
do some of that reporting.
Yeah, and
He
then
could
at
do.
least,
invite him, maybe.
I-
He's been key meetings.
I think, well, I'll try to do that, and see if he can make it, but
Thank you.
since he's,
Thank you.
hasn't given his notice even yet, maybe I will.
Well, he'll have to give his notice right away
Yep.
to.
He has 2 weeks, yep. So,
Considering everything that's sort of swirling up there in the air, something in the back of my head is saying, before our next meeting, do we need to have an executive committee meeting? There's a lot of things to tease out, and so that when we,
It's very limited
Yeah, what we
what
can
you
do
can have for
is- I
an
don't think we
executive
need-
session.
yeah.
It's very limited.
We can talk about personnel, which is why there's
Yeah.
the 3 of us going with the meeting with Drew next week. We should have it
Yeah.
as an executive session.
sure,
Because there won't be, we can't make any decisions on anything, but it'll just
Yeah.
be meeting with Drew to go over the paperwork we need to do on the grant we have, so. But we can have another meeting in this month if we need to sit down and talk about things. I mean, we could certainly just have a meeting to talk about the ordinances and things, which you were gonna work on that next month maybe. Is that-
Well, I would say this spring because I have prepared a revised job description and we need to go over that before we take it to somebody and try to put it into action. But as far as one thing at a time, this is what I had already started, so I'm gonna see this through until, before we start on the ordinance, at least for my own time management.
yeah.
So I don't think we need another meeting this month.
No, I don't think we have to
Talk about the-
rapidly do it in the next 2 weeks, no.
Okay.
I wasn't so much thinking of a formal kind of meeting, but sort of a brainstorming meeting in regard to, this is where we are, what are some possibilities, what ideas do we have?
I don't think we can meet like that. If we meet, it has to be
In an
certain,
open public meeting.
right, certain
Yeah.
topics.
We can add something like that to the agenda for next month, Dennis, if you want to have
And we
just
will.
just an open session. That could be just handled under the new business item. We can just talk
Yes.
about the possible
Very
new
good.
business. And
Goals and plans,
Yep.
et cetera.
all right, so that's enough discussion for election of officers and that. So item number 7, committee reports. Do we have any committee reports? Education outreach, anything there? Farmers market, we know that's going to be coming up this spring. Will be our farmers market Saturday visits every month. Facebook, any discussion on Facebook? Oh, Dennis?
No. You go ahead with
Yeah, I was gonna-
Facebook and then I.
Yeah, so the things that we talked about the last meeting that I should post, I posted those. I think, I don't know if it was spotted lanternfly again or some other, pest, but I did those things. It's pretty quiet. I mean, it's winter, so there's not lots going on. I'll take that. Oh, yeah, go on, Dennis.
Yeah, under sort of the topic of outreach, I wanted to fly some ideas out there because I want to set something up with WEFM about not only having a sort of a general announcement about the grant, but also setting up a time when some ones of us can be on a live broadcast, and it would be nice if we could include the new city forester at that time. So the way I would go about it is say, okay, here's a little announcement. You can say next week at this time, we're going to have so-and-so in from the tree board, etc., to discuss what has emerged and our plans for the new year.
Yeah, three big topics would be the $1 million grant,
Right.
our Arbor Day proclamation and tree giveaway.
Well, before that, the grant, the new forester,
Yes.
Yes.
and then the Arbor Day.
Yeah,
I
let's
thought you were
put,
gonna have the forester there, and see, the forester could talk about those
Right.
things.
Right.
Yeah, but also introducing the fact that we do have a new forester.
right,
You know, that's-
let's wait till he's sworn in.
Well, that's why I'm bringing this, that's why I'm bringing it up, so it's gonna
Yeah.
have to happen
Yes,
end of January or beginning of February. So I'm trying to get a timeline on that so I can start contacting them and setting that up. Which means that I would appreciate any help in regard to what kind of statement do we want to make initially to the radio station to say, as of next week, this is going to be discussed, there's a new grant, short and sweet without getting into details so that it tweaks people's interest and they will want to tune back next week.
well, I think there's a lot of people who don't even realize we have a tree board or what a tree board is.
Yeah.
And that this is
That could
something,
be first paragraph, second paragraph, grant. And arborist, or forester.
I think that we have great confidence, Dennis, that you will be able to compose something that would be appropriate in light of the discussion.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you don't want to be stuck alone in front of a mic, I'm the kind of person who can talk about anything
Right.
anywhere at a time.
That's
Based on our NERC
Right.
training, then I will say yes, Betsy will stand up and talk about it.
I would second that notion,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
that's
mean,
fine.
as a retired professor, I'm used
Right.
to talking.
Yeah, and same here. No, my concern is just coming together and writing up the initial statement that they're going to make. So I want to make sure that I get 2, maybe 3 paragraphs that they can present about when we're going to come on the station.
Well,
So that I
we
get
had
all the
something
points.
like that the last time we had a little sapling giveaway, on the there was instructions on one side, and on the flip side, when Nicole was with us, there was one page about the tree board and what we do. And
Okay, let me further define. What I'm looking for is maybe a 3-paragraph write-up that I will give to the radio station saying, this is an announcement from the tree board, and following week we will be on to flesh this out.
like a press release.
Press release.
Dennis, why don't you just write something up and then we can just, let us look at it next meeting.
That's a good idea.
And then we'll
I
give you
will,
our,
I will do that if you will send me suggestions.
Well, I'll send you what I have already,
Right.
and
And along the lines of
press
what we're
release.
gonna have as a press release for the radio.
Okay.
Any
And Jim, I know you
suggestions you have
spent
on that?
time doing a press
Put that
release
together.
already on the grant, so
I
that
already
part's
sent
done.
it to him
Yeah.
and he just found it in his email.
Oh, thank you.
But that's much, much bigger than what I need. Like I said,
It's
3
pretty simple.
paragraphs.
We got $1 million, we're gonna
Excuse
talk
me.
about $1 million.
May I finish? 3 short paragraphs that I will give to the radio station that they will put out there. I don't need all of that. And I appreciate what you sent me, but that's what I'm requesting. Simple request. Input, appreciate.
All right. Betsy will get you some input. Thank you.
Thank you, Betsy, and thank you, Jim.
Arbor Day tree giveaway proclamation.
Yes, so I'm very happy that we have the proclamation from last January, and that was requested as part of the application for Tree City. So I did the online Tree City, and the loose deadline was the end of the year, and I reached out to our local tree forest, or our division state forester. Well, first the big guy, and then he directed me to our local guy, who said, fine, you can have an extension. And also, he reached out yesterday, checking on that. So I have given to Tim, while he's still president, the summary for our new mayor, Angie, to sign. And then I'll take that back and do a PDF and then upload it to the application, get that done in the next, week or so.
Which I have right here.
Excellent. And then I'm putting on my calendar that I start this application process a lot earlier in the new administration, and that the proclamation that, we get that around Arbor Day as well.
This says, this is last year, is that what we were doing, going the year prior?
23? Yes,
Okay,
that's
this is for the year
definitely,
prior, okay.
right.
Sounds like,
Because it's like, have you done these things, so, yeah.
okay. And that proclamation, we need to have Angie be one for this year coming up.
Yes.
Right, and I've got that, that I,
So maybe when you see her about that, you can
Okay,
see if you can
yep.
get that
We'll
proclamation.
do that and see if she can find one of those old ones in the file and update it for this coming year. What's our Arbor Day year this year that we want on that?
the
Because it's
24th,
been different
yeah.
than the National Arbor Day. We
Well, and
wanted
this
it to
says
begin
May
with.
the 4th.
And
We
This
would-
says they were giving away
May the
trees.
4th be with you, yes.
Yes.
And it's saying like, that it's around Arbor Day, like this says Saturday, April 29th.
Because that was
That's
when we were
giveaway,
giving away
yeah.
Arbor Day,
trees.
yeah. So, it can happen sometime before that, so we're fine, and I'll send a little
Okay,
reminder on the proclamation.
very good.
Okay.
We've got the tree order in for our giveaway, so that's good.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, Sustainability Commission coordination, is there anything?
Nothing new.
Okay.
Well, you're on that commission, aren't you, Laura?
Yeah.
Other than you, is there anyone there that is interested in what we're doing over here?
Oh, yeah.
That would be willing to be on the board.
Oh, it would be willing to be on the board. Well, I think Daisy, and I asked Daisy last time I saw her.
You know what, I watched one of your meetings on YouTube, and what struck me as very interesting is there were some student members.
Yeah.
And they seem to be some of the hardest working people. And I wonder if we could, and they're not official,
Right.
quorum defining people, but They were high school people or
Yeah, there's
college?
junior
or-
high and high school members, and that is in their founding ordinance. So it would be nice to have that as an addition to our ordinance when we get to changing the ordinance. So,
Well, the ordinance, the tree ordinance doesn't necessarily define what the tree board is. But I'm just
It
saying.
does.
It does?
It
Well, I'm
does.
just saying that it would be
That's
nice to have a couple of high schoolers on the tree board.
it would,
Junior high, I think, is a little young to be
I do too,
doing a lot
but
of.
it's like in training.
Or maybe there's a local college that has an environmental studies major. I don't know. Just,
Good addition.
Yes. All right. Greg, you talked about annual tree planting. We're sort of working on getting a tree request list together. I think that's something that I'm gonna want, at least as it stands right now, as president, I would want our arborist to start working on getting that together, the tree request list. So that's something to talk to Michael about when he starts.
And also, we'll be generating that at the farmer's
Farmers markets,
too.
yeah.
well, I'd like
Which
to
he
see
should
a
be
lot.
attending.
I'd like to see more trees than what we've been doing. And because people hopefully will be calling him.
Yeah,
Well, we have, before we get more, well, you're not talking about getting more trees from the grant, you're talking about getting more people to request the trees.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Thank
Because
you.
we did have some left over that the park department used.
Right. And didn't tell us where they were planted.
All right.
It's a secret.
Secret garden.
And that's something I'll get from the park department, a list of where all the trees are, because I've got to submit that for the community tree backup for our previous 2022 and 2023, so. All right, Tree City designation, I got that, we talked about that. Let's take that off next month's committee report, since we don't need to talk about that for some time to come. And we can remove the next item, Arbor Search Committee, off, because we have now one who is starting in a few weeks. Yay!
I will remove that.
Hooray
I'm
for
gonna
us.
keep Tree City designation,
Yes.
I'll just put it in parentheses.
Okay.
Okay.
Because if it falls off,
Right, I
it
agree.
may never get back again.
Yeah, okay. We do not have an arborist, so item A is off. We don't have any reason to talk about item A. Okay.
Well, along the line of the arborist, do you think it would be useful to, I don't know if it's appropriate to do this formally or simply informally, but to schedule sort of a get to know you indoctrination between the board and the arborist as he comes on board here at the end of the month. You know,
I like
a
that.
gathering informally where we talk to him about
Thank
what
you.
our expectations are and give him some tips and that sort of thing. And maybe this is appropriately conducted at Soren's.
It would have to be, if there's more than three of us, it would have to be an official meeting.
It would, okay.
So,
We don't know if he's a drinker.
yeah. Now, if we want to do an executive session to talk personnel and do that at Zorn, that can be done, as long as we have an announcement with the city that we're having
Well,
a.
I don't see it as an official meeting. I just see it as
Anytime more than three of us get together, it's an official meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll only have two of us.
That can work. If you want to work out a time when you and Dennis can get together with him at Zorn, and then Laura and I will get together with him at Zorn at a separate time. And
What about if we have people on phone?
Yeah, right. Okay, old business. Do we have any old business if we want to talk about? Old business.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hearing none, move on to new business. Let's come up with new business. Anybody have any new business they want to discuss?
Yes. I just passed out some proposed changes to the arborist / city forester job description, and it's okay, I'd like to walk through some of these.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Are you mostly talking about the requirements?
Okay, well, let me first start and say that what I tried to use the language that is online as much as possible,
Online, as in,
The city.
as in what the city publishes,
okay.
Michigan City website.
Right, and I have that here, if anybody didn't have a chance to look at that or wants to compare. And what's online starts with duties as a subheading. But I felt that they missed two other subheadings, which are requirements and benefits. So what I just handed you adds an added requirements and benefits, just so that's, so most of what I am suggesting as changes is under requirements. And as you know, I was trying to count the number of people we interviewed for this position in my year or so here. It's at least 6 people. And I'm just struck with the differences in qualifications that each candidate came to the interview with, as well as their understanding about what their job would be. And, you know, I don't need to go through all what happened, but I was prompted to do this revision so that we wouldn't be spending so much time in the future if we ever have to get another arborist or city forester, that we wouldn't be spending so much time with people who are on the low end of the qualification scale. Everybody had a little bit of qualifications, but or we never would have gotten their resume or made an interview, but there were some that were far more qualified than others. Okay, so starting with the first paragraph where it says the city forester, I'm not going to read all of this, but I will read the changes. This is pretty much the same as in the original on the website. I moved a couple of things around or shaved a word or two here and there just for to be more concise.
Yeah.
So, for example, where it says city forester reports directly to the mayor, I moved that up from further down. Okay, duties. The duties are pretty much the same, but what I added, underlined here, is they could get their continuing education from the Indiana Arborist Association. And if you are a certified arborist, that's one of the number one places to go to get your required continuing education. So working with professional, there was something else mentioned in the original document, that the continuing forestry education, I tell you, not really familiar with that. Okay, and then I also added maintain certification, licensure, or membership in one or more professional organizations, and I feel that's very important for people to keep up with the news, the trends, the requirements, and to
Yes.
in other words, a certain amount of networking is helpful.
Yes.
Okay, next paragraph, that's.
I'll say in comparison, because what I'm looking at is, you know, the job opening that's here, and that's where I'm reading off, and I think where you got as well, like the duties and all this.
Yeah.
The text, a lot of this looks the same. So you put on here, work with professional organizations, continuing forestry education program, and what was noted here was to earn continuing education credits through the continuing forestry education or the Indiana Arborist Association.
Right. So everything that's underlined is new language.
But you removed, I see.
I don't think I removed anything from that first page.
Gotcha.
Duties.
No, gotcha. I switched it there.
Okay.
You're good.
All right, and Axis liaison, that paragraph is the same. The next paragraph, the original says oversees, blah, blah, blah. I wrote inspects instead of oversees, because oversees is kind of vague. Inspection is a word that arborists know. This is something they do a lot, and I was pleased that our incoming arborist was talking about doing some of that on a yearly basis.
But you will also need to oversee the city department as well, because he's not gonna be the one going out and cutting all the trees and everything.
Right.
He's gonna be directing them what trees to remove
Right.
and overseeing
But as,
their operation, and they're not totally ripping up every tree next to the one
Yeah,
that's taken down. kind of thing.
okay, well, let's get through the rest of this and see if that meaning is further down.
Okay.
Maintains records, that's the same. The original said drafts/writes enforces ordinances, policies, and procedures, so I don't think this guy is here to write our new ordinance, but
No.
I'd like him to contribute to
It's
the
doing so,
ordinance.
Yep, I agree. That sounds good.
Policy, procedures, okay, the rest of the first page here, pretty much
Okay.
yes, already there. Now, okay, requirements. There is no heading that says requirements online, but there it is. Needs to,
Yes, it needs to have
it
that.
needs
Yes.
to be there. Okay, so the candidate for city forester must be a certified arborist or have the ability to obtain such certification within 120 days of hire.
Is that a reasonable,
I thought it took
Length of
3
time.
years.
Well, okay, I just threw that out there because 120 days is mentioned in other things, like how long it takes to get a CDL. If it takes 3 years, so what I had in mind here is somebody who could become a certified arborist. Maybe you let your certification lapse and you're applying for this job. You could renew that within 120 days.
Okay, I just have something to say about that. And I think this is a pretty cool idea. On the other hand, I noticed that one of our best recent arborists, well, two of our best recent arborists, our last two arborists,
Candidates, oh, the arborists themselves, okay.
yeah, Nicole, who was 3 weeks an arborist, was not certified.
Well, she was an exception.
And our last previous was Jessica Barnett, and she came in without an arborist certification either.
Okay, the reason why, there's a couple of reasons why I would strongly recommend having certified arborist as a requirement is that versus having the degree I still left as preferred,
Yes.
is you can have a degree in biology or forestry 30 years ago,
Yeah.
and that doesn't mean that you've kept up with anything. Although we have had candidates who claimed their strength was tree identification, and I'm thinking, that's such a low standard. The thing about being a certified arborist, not to toot my own horn, but you do have to take 30 hours of continuing education every 3 years. So you're in contact with other arborists, you're meeting people, you're getting training, and so your training or what you know should be a little fresher. The certified arborist also has a code of ethics about basically doing the right thing for not just the trees but for the people that you serve, and doesn't prevent you from earning a salary, but it should prevent people from doing wrong things, unethical behavior. So if you want to change the 120 days, that's fine.
What about the first year?
Well, the thing
Somebody
is that
would
you
have-
have to have 3 years of experience supervised,
Right.
which you wouldn't get here being supervised by the mayor. Because the mayor is not.
No. But what I'm saying is, I think we got lucky with, I didn't know the second to last arborist. Nicole had other qualities. She had other experiences that I felt qualified her. And she had you know, the ability to pull things together, at least to a point. And she was trying to work towards that, but I don't know that she had experience in tree assessment and supervising, you know, tree workers, and, you know, I'm not saying that she needed to, you know, take down trees herself or anything like that. But I would like to see somebody who is ready to go in fulfilling these duties. And maybe 120 days is too tough.
Well, I hear what you're saying. I'm wondering if we want to, at the end, say, like, exceptions may arise, you know, per board approval or something.
No, that's,
It's
okay.
So
Okay, I'm also thinking about some of the less qualified applicants that we have interviewed who weren't really ready to step in to do things and to take charge,
Yeah.
like Nicole was. I mean, I think she had other qualities, no
Yeah.
doubt. But we had other applicants who I could not see even coming close to doing this.
No.
So so I'm thinking of somebody who maybe worked for a tree care company, or maybe, you know, had a couple of summer jobs, somebody who could, those are the people who are maybe on their way to be ready for certification, but who aren't quite there yet. But somebody who's starting from zero, who had like an internship at the, you know, local Parks and Rec. Anyway, I am not gonna budge on that recommendation about being a certified arborist. If you wanna change the timing and make that more generous than 120 days,
Yeah, I would recommend 6 months. If you give them a year, within that year, they are going to be becoming more and more inundated with work and responsibilities and things like that, and could easily lose sight of that, and that, oh, well, we'll let it slide in. I think 6 months certainly gives enough of a, you know, this is something we're serious about, we're giving you 6 months. We can support you in whatever you need to get that in. A year, I think.
no, I don't, because it's hard to go take somebody who's been on the job for a while and say, oh, by the way, the job description said,
Yeah.
especially if that person is
Doing an
perform
appropriate
otherwise.
job for us, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I know.
Anyone else?
I'm
Comments on
flexible,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm flexible on it too. Maybe we'll run it by legal and see what they think.
But
Okay,
somewhere 4 to 6 months, it sounds like. So the 120 days is 4 months, and so
Right.
maybe,
6 months.
6
Right.
months.
so something like that. Okay. We won't decide
Yeah.
tonight, but, okay.
well, and usually to be able to sit for you're right, to sit for, of course, when I took the test, I didn't have 3 years of experience. It's recently been.
Expanded to that.
Yes, I had 10 years, but not full-time.
Can I jump back to
Sure.
duties, the
Yes.
fourth paragraph? The last sentence says interacts with public, city departments and outside agencies. I want to put in here somewhere the educational aspects of the position where they work with the school groups and things like that. I mean, that's been something that's been very
Sure.
important in our grant applications, that we're providing education, or, you know, educating the community about trees and that, I really don't see that.
Is that in the
Aspect in there somewhere.
old description?
Probably not.
Yeah, okay.
In the old one, yeah, just, and outside agencies with patience, tact, respect, and professionalism.
Okay, so that would just be another line on there?
Yeah, just to talk about, beyond interacting with the public, provide education with city departments out, yes. So interact with public and provide educational opportunities.
Provides.
Yeah. Because I've kind of, all the while I've been on the board, to see the arborists as going and working with the groups like the Krieger Nature Center groups, and the Barker has a similar
Isaac
thing.
Walton,
Yeah,
yeah.
to kind of do some education to the community as well.
So I wrote down provide educational opportunities in schools and community groups.
Yep.
Something like that.
I mean, we've spoken to all of our candidates about that too when we've interviewed them. That's what we
Yeah, that's fine, I'll add that. Somewhere I took out the part about the lift truck.
Okay, so we have chainsaw in there still.
Yes, I left chainsaw in there because if you're an arborist, you know how to use a chainsaw. That doesn't mean I
sure.
use a chainsaw regularly. I have an assistant that does that. Okay.
Knows how to use a chainsaw and how to stop the bleeding when you don't.
How to apply a training.
Well, the thing about this person knowing how to use equipment is, if you don't know how to use it, you can't correct somebody who's doing it
Right.
wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Very, very true.
Why is the CDL necessary?
That was in the original job description. I don't,
I don't know
No,
either.
city
Why?
trucks.
Possibly because they might be driving a heavier than, 10,000 pound vehicle at some point. I doubt it.
You
Most
probably
likely
have to
pickup
have-
truck.
probably check your background for CDL.
Well, that did require some extensive training, and how are we gonna know whether they have the ability to obtain a CDL or not? It seems to me superfluous.
Well, I agree with you, but I'm just keeping
Do
that
that in from what
language.
was there
as-
before. Yeah.
Would the person do you need that to drive a city truck, like a regular pickup truck?
No, because the state of Indiana doesn't.
Uh-huh.
None of our maintenance people, if
Yeah.
they're just driving a pickup truck, take-home vehicle, and that's.
So maybe we don't
No.
need that.
Well,
If it's
okay,
over
let's-
10
Again, this is our proposal,
the-
HR, or, this is
yeah,
not gonna,
I just left it in there because
because it was there, yeah,
I think it was there probably for bucket truck
right.
issue. That would be a CDL or driver's
Oh,
license
okay.
and not.
Well, if we don't think it's necessary, we should take it out.
Yeah.
This thing is already too long.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
know
it's
Jessica-
necessary.
Jessica was working on getting hers. I don't remember if she actually got it, but she
how
was,
long was she the arborist?
probably a couple of years.
Almost 2 years.
And
before
she
I
was
came
still
on board.
working on getting
I don't remember.
at
I
one
know
time.
she was working to get it.
Okay, the other requirements are pretty much as they were, with some deletions and some it says overtime may be required. That was in there twice. I took out the second one. And I omitted the ability to operate an aerial lift device bucket truck. That's
Yeah.
okay. Benefits, that's word for what was already in.
And good, I saw you changed from to operate heavy equipment to selected heavy equipment.
Right,
Excellent,
meaning whatever they have.
yeah, okay.
One thing that I thought about later for benefits, and I don't know if we have the ability to add this, but I think the city should be paying for, when somebody has to renew their certification, they should pay for that.
Yeah.
I negotiated that for myself with the mayor for the engineering position to keep up my PE license. That's,
Okay, but
So-
should that be a stated benefit or something that somebody has to ask for?
I think we need to ask for that with HR.
How about paying for continuing education?
I think that's one of the line items in the general fund.
Or approved continuing education.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, pretty much every company I've ever worked for and government agencies, go to your supervisor, or in this case would be
Yeah.
the mayor, and say, hey, I have this opportunity for this class that's $160, will the city cover that?
Uh-huh.
Right.
It's either approved or not, so.
Right.
Okay,
So
well,
$500 in the budget for membership and dues and
Yeah, so,
1,500 for education, so.
oh, okay, well, that's pretty
so
good.
we should be able to cover those things.
Should I list that under benefits?
I don't know.
Well, somebody who's looking online at this might wonder. If they could ask in their interview.
This is all gonna have to go past HR anyways.
Oh, absolutely, I know it's not all the way up to us.
Yep.
So, yeah, why not?
So I put in there, since we do have a budget for it, you just say, when approved by management, or when approved by the mayor.
I'm
Okay,
trying to figure out where it says that, so the paragraph that starts in specs makes it sound like the city forester is gonna do all of this stuff. But in fact, he's in a
Well-
large part gonna be
Directing,
supervising other people
Yes.
doing a lot of.
it's as needed.
So inspects or oversees?
Yeah,
Well, overseas is the original
I know,
language, but
Or directs?
I say inspects, comma, directs, and oversees, just put all that in there as one.
Or you were talking about inspects means something very specific.
yeah, that's
So that
important,
would be, inspection would be something that
That,
the
yes,
arborist would do.
right.
And
And then
all of these
direct-
other things would be
direct and
things that you
oversee.
might
Direct and
assign somebody
oversee,
else to do.
I agree, Laura, that's,
Okay, that's a good,
Oversee is a word that you use in relationship to staff,
right,
employees, you oversee employees.
okay, got it. But I will, I think I'll break that out into 2 sentences.
yeah, I think that would be good.
I wanna say I'm glad to see that you have this as city forester, and that's what
Yes.
the original, that it was,
I don't
What it
know how it
said
got
in-
changed.
yeah.
Well, it's not really changed, oh no, this says arborist.
Yeah,
On the
Yeah.
opening, it's changed, but it's not changed anywhere else.
It's not changed in
right.
the ordinance?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, looking around at what other cities call it, not everybody calls it a city forester, but,
We've always called it a city forester.
forester.
okay, well, it is a more all-encompassing
Yeah.
term than arborist.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Arborist could be a crew member for NIPSCO.
Yeah.
Thank you for the work
Yeah,
on this,
that's-
this is what
Well,
our.
it's, thank
That
you,
is the single biggest improvement in this, is the title itself.
Yeah,
okay.
Make a suggestion.
Well, I will take your suggestions and rewrite
Thank you.
this, and maybe we
Yeah.
could vote
Yes,
on it at the
sure,
next
go ahead.
meeting.
Sounds
Ms. Temporary chairman, if you could,
Mr. Melowitz has another suggestion.
yes,
First of all, I would be happy to assist in the copy editing of this if you would like me to. If you send me a Word version, I could do an edit and send it to you with review, everything identified, all the changes and such, and basically to pare this down into something that is more easier to read and quick and just basically editing from a
Well-
standpoint of simply linguistics and such.
yeah, I can see the need for that as far as the public reading it, but whoever wrote this, I did not want to offend whoever got their degree in personnel who wrote this in the first place. It does seem
We don't really
very
know if that was
wordy.
the case.
Do we know how,
Like most government things,
who wrote this and how long ago?
No,
It was
no, we don't, but what I
It
would
was a
say
committee
is,
that banged it out.
like
Some
most
of this-
government things,
some of
it's
this
simply
needs to be-
overwritten.
Right.
but you're right, if someone's just skimming this, that's one thing, but if someone is applying for this job, I think it's important to have this spelled out with, because they're looking for the details like that, so I think this is excellent to have
I would like to
this level of information.
also, perhaps there are two things in here that I think might be needed. Number one is some definition of the relationship of the city forester to the tree board, other than attends tree board meetings, okay?
Okay,
In the second paragraph, where it says, "The city forester reports directly to the mayor." I would add something to the effect of, and assists, and
Advises.
assists, and assists
Okay,
the tree board, and assist the tree board, including but not limited to, attending all tree board meetings and consulting with the members of the board, or something to that effect, to make it quite clear that the tree board is that the forester is our guy, and he has to work with the tree board, and the tree board is the number one board in the forester life. The mayor is not going to be supervising the forester on a day-to-day basis. The mayor has way too many other things to do, okay? In terms of a boss that this guy walks into every day and says, hey, the boss says, well, what'd you do this week? And the guy says, well, this is what I did and this is what I'm gonna do. I don't see the mayor as exercising that sort of daily role, and I could be wrong.
Nor would the mayor want to.
Nor would the mayor want to, because the mayor has a shitload of other things to do.
Well,
So who is, on a daily basis or on a regular basis, who is this guy actually going to be coming in and saying, hey, this is what I've been doing all week or all month, and this is what I'm planning to do? We are essentially his supervisors.
Yeah.
And so I think that needs to be spelled out here in
Well,
some
how
more
about
detail.
where it says attends tree board meetings and reports monthly on
But that's
all
way down in
activities?
the bottom of this thing. I think it should be front and center, very
Well,
much
no,
at the top.
because it is a duty rather than a definition.
yeah. Attends monthly tree board meetings.
Attends and reports, well,
The other thing I would suggest is that we, and this is my personal thing about invasive species, that this guy has to hate invasive species. Job requirement,
Especially,
get rid of the tree of heaven, okay?
Well, I don't know if we need that in here, that's something in the interview.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm with you.
well, if you have a
We're gonna
certified
have a duty, kill
arborist
all trees of
and
heaven.
not just a Boy Scout who can identify trees, then that person doesn't, that's part of being a certified arborist, is knowing all that.
Sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
But if it is the tree board's priority that fighting invasive species should be a priority for the city and for the city forester, not just
Yeah.
one of 100 duties,
That's what we
but
tell
a
them.
priority, seems to me, we wouldn't be remiss in putting that somewhere in.
All right, I will put that in the paragraph that currently starts with inspects.
Yeah, that second sentence starts, removes, processes, and disposes of tree debris. You could have something, about invasive,
Invasive species,
Removes
yeah,
invasives.
absolutely.
semicolon, removes invasive.
Invasive species are the biggest tree debris we'll have.
Well, there's always,
Well, but it's more a statement of philosophy, not just a duty, just a job description of like, yeah, he's gotta go out and trim trees, he's gotta throw away trash, he's gotta do this.
In control and elimination of invasive trees, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
well, there is a mention of pest control in the first thing about duties.
Well, that would probably be
That's how-
considered Haitian law for
That was in reference to the former mayor.
Right, that was,
and we'll act.
I didn't say that. Strike that from the record.
yeah, that
Yeah,
was,
you're
that
on
was
team.
more, I think when it was vector control combination.
Yeah.
Don't you think, Laura, that's,
Well, it might be about emerald ash borer and stuff like that.
yeah, I think,
That's what I said.
Okay, I think we've given you enough information
Yes.
to go back and do this. I don't think we need to grind that
All right.
stuff down to
Thank
the
you so
ground.
much.
is there any other new business?
Let's see,
Thank you, Betsy.
We've talked about Arbor Day and that already, so, any other new business? Any other new business? Hearing none. Comments from board members? Start with Betsy.
Well, thank you for listening to my
oh, thank you.
report, and it's something I wanted to do for some time. And I will provide an improved version at the next meeting, or could I send it to you? I did not want to send this out online because I didn't want anybody to think that this was it.
Yeah.
That-
You just email to all of us.
Draft,
Yeah.
label draft.
Just draft, yep.
Okay,
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Not from me.
Okay. Ms. Vice President?
No, shall withhold until the next meeting.
Okay. Madam Secretary? Comments?
That's it.
From me, for the president, I'd like to wish everybody out there a happy new year, and the best of luck to everyone out there. Stay healthy, and look at the trees. Keep your eye on trees, and let us know at the tree board if there's any issues that we need to address. We appreciate hearing from you for any issues, and we'll have a forest on board very soon to work on that. So thank you for all joining us and watching our meetings.
Are you running for office?
I am not. No, I am not. In fact, I'm running from office.
Away from it.
Running away from it.
Mr. Melowitz.
I just want to say that I may not make it to the next meeting. That is not an invitation to nominate me for any position.
But it will happen.
That's your request.
Just a statement of situation.
You
How
better
long-
attend by Zoom then.
Jim, how long have you been on the tree board?
About 2 years, before you, right?
No, I've been on, you came on board
Almost 2 years.
2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Oh,
My term is up this summer, I believe.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Britton?
Two things. As I mentioned last month, I want people to start thinking of and planning to put this on the agenda next month about my suggestion for like in March, having a function at the public library involving the tree board, that we exist, what we do. This is the city forester, a way of priming people for the growing season and our role within the city and actually identifying ourselves in doing that. So I want us to think about that for further discussion next month. The other thing I wanted to bring up too is people are jockeying for, you want this position? No, I don't want this position. You want? No, I don't. I've been, thinking about what role I can best serve on the tree board, and one of the things that usually surfaces is, with my background and training as a social worker, I'm trained in community organization, and so part of what I often end up doing is communications to the community at large, which I'm starting to do through the radio, and also outreach and involvement of the community with whatever organization I'm involved with. So that's something I want to put out there in ways in which I can be utilized with the skills that I do have, which is not finance.
All right.
Okay.
Anything else? All right. Close the board member comments. Any comments from the public? Any comments from the public? Comments from the public? Hearing none. Next meeting will be February 7th, 2024. Believe here. We're not sure of the room because it may be new here. So
But this building.
we'll see about this building. So there'll be
We'll be
follow-up
looking for the
information
sign.
where it is. So look for the sign when you come in. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I move to adjourn this
A
meeting.
second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Vote. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Oh, before you turn that off, I just have a note to whoever's taking the minutes for this, that I think I made a motion to amend the minutes, and since Betsy, would you take on that as your
Official
because of-
motion.
Official motion. 'cause
Since
it's
she
gonna
may
come from
not
me.
be a member.
oh, sure, you can be a member. Yeah, you can put that under my
Okay.
name.
Thank you.
Betsy's motion, thank you. All right, we're out.